You like dragons? Imagine dragging these nuts across your forehead.
Welcome to the motherfucking lady. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Simple as that.
Okay, you know what?
That's what it is. People need to look into it. Like, I'm not an idiot, and me and Sandy, like, we could fight anytime, anywhere. We don't like each other, and it's very personal. Like, I think she's a fucking weirdo. I think she's an absolute weirdo, but that's on her. So good luck with her fighting for that 140 belt. But I'm not giving Brian, Eddie Hearn and that the satisfaction of giving them the fight they've always wanted. When they didn't want me to fight Katie, and good, they shouldn't have, because they know I beat Katie the third time. So they're protecting their fire. But me, I'm with MVP now. They're looking after me, and I'm cracking on with 3-minute rounds.
It was Chantel Cameron's intention to allay any criticisms with this explanation. It seems to have done the opposite. Boxeo Pats, a friend of the channel, said she's not giving Ryan the fight because Matchroom didn't want her to fight Katie, but they made the fight against Taylor. It makes no sense.
To see the very delicious October Red's full interview with Chantel Cameron in its entirety, I will leave the link pinned to the top of the comments section.
There are many more comments just like Boxeo Pats scattered about the social media space reacting to Chantel's explanation. She didn't fight Sandy because she didn't want to give Eddie and Matchroom the satisfaction since they kept Katie Taylor away from her. Except they didn't.
They made you not one, but 2 Katie Taylor fights on top of that. They got you every big opportunity, every big fight you had.
So then she says, well, she's with MVP now, and the funniest thing is, the reason she ain't get that third Katie Taylor fight is because MVP made that third Amanda Serrano fight.
MVP did that. They promoted it alongside Netflix. Who knows? If they hadn't have made Katie Taylor an offer she couldn't refuse, maybe Katie would have fought Chantel for a third time. Who knows? Katie doesn't duck no smoke.
Previous years, I did a number of interviews with Chantel Cameron myself, and every single time she told me she didn't think the Katie Taylor fight would ever happen. I assured her that it would, and it did. Maybe not as fast as she would have liked, but it still happened. I've long maintained that Chantel Cameron makes too much of her own career about Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor is just one fighter who for many years now has had any number of girls beating down her door for an opportunity, and she's fought most, if not all of them. That's why Katie Taylor is such a pivotal character in the story of women's boxing, because she regularly took on the dangerous fights, the somebodies, Chantel Cameron included.
Chantel doesn't want to do the same thing, and that's all I see. This excuse to not fight Sandy Ryan, to throw your belt in the air, to go fight some nobody at 154, it will not suffice, even if it is for a title.
You could have fought Sandy in defense of yours. The fight that she's about to have on the undercard of Harper versus Dubois likely won't be as memorable as a Sandy Ryan fight would have been. Seems like the only somebody that Chantel wants to fight is Katie and nobody else, and that's a big part of the reason that ever since she left Matchroom for Queensbury, it's like the ground swallowed her up. You stopped seeing her. I don't think Queensbury promoted Chantel better than Matchroom.
For all the shots she likes to take at Matchroom.
Now we'll see if MVP can do it better. She's already debuted under the promotional banner opposite the Ring Canada's own Jessica Kamara. Heard that she's back with Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis, perhaps because since she left Jamie and Nigel, she hasn't looked the dynamic fighter that she used to. If I'm honest, it looked like she was regressing. I don't know why she left them in the first place, and she left them after losing the rematch to Katie.
Typical. Fighter loses a fight. Oh, I need a new trainer. I need a new everything.
Inadvertently, it's almost like the fighter is blaming the trainer for the loss. Now, sometimes it's warranted, and sometimes it's not. In the case of Jamie and Nigel, I think it's not, because you won the first fight with those two in your corner.
If you lost the second one, it's not because of them, it's because Katie came back better.
In any event, she's supposed to be back with them. I wonder if Jamie and Nigel harbor any hard feelings towards Chantel for leaving them in the first place. They gave her a home after she parted ways with Shane McGuigan, claiming that she was mistreated. over there. People tend to forget years ago, she said he didn't have time to train, no female fighter. You fast forward, not only is he training Carolyn Dubois, he's training Ellie Scottney.
Catford.
I question the validity of that statement now, and Chantel Cameron, who I used to be very fond of, she was one of my favorite fighters, now seems more and more like a malcontent, taking shots at the people that helped to build her and got her the very biggest opportunities of her career because she can't have it all her way? None of us can.
That's why you show appreciation for what you do have.
Elsewhere in the world of boxing, a related story to when I talked about previous video, Marcellus Wilder quits Dollar Tree job 4 years after his final pro bout.
Isn't that Deontay Wilder's brother?
Marcellus Wilder, the younger brother of former WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder, says he's walked away from a job at Dollar Tree and posted a video of himself quitting. In the clip, Wilder explains why he's leaving, saying he could not continue after a dispute with the store's management. Oh, we've all been there, Marcellus, we have. He also makes an allegation about inappropriate behavior. The claim has not been independently verified. The video drew attention online because of the contrast between where Wilder was a few years ago and where he is now.
I ain't gonna kick him when he's down or make fun of him for working at Dollar Tree. There's nothing wrong with an honest day's work. Could have gone into so many other unsavory areas of life that there's absolutely nothing wrong with him 9-to-5ing it.
What that shows me is his character. Wilder's footage shows him addressing the situation as he quits, laying out his side of the story and saying he felt he had no choice but to leave. While the allegation is his own account and remains unconfirmed, the wider reaction has focused on the bigger picture. A fighter who once appeared on major undercards now working a retail job to get by, while his more famous brother rakes in the millions
and makes himself out to be a victim.
Not long ago, Marcellus was still boxing on the same cards as his older brother. In November of 2019, World Boxing News was in attendance in Vegas when Wilder was knocked out by Dustin Long on the Wilder versus Luis Ortiz undercard. A single shot ended the fight in the 4th round. Needless to say that Marcellus doesn't have the penchant for pugilism that his older brother does, and that's okay. Away from boxing, he explored music and other ventures, but the reality for many fighters is simple. When the fights stop, the bills do not. Wilder's situation has struck a chord because it is more common than people want to admit. Boxing has no pension plan and no guaranteed landing spot for undercard fighters unless you reach the top level and stay there. Life after the ring can arrive fast. For Marcellus Wilder, the jump from a Las Vegas pay-per-view week in 2019 to clocking in at a Dollar Tree a few years later is a hard swing.
If I myself were to provide any counsel to fighters, young fighters, who may not have what it takes to make it all the way to the top, what do you do with the money? Don't fuck it off.
Don't blow it on expensive toys. I would start there. Fast cars that only depreciate in value over time. Don't squander it on jewelry.
To impress people that don't really like you anyway, people that don't know you.
The customary cookie-cutter answer for what an athlete should do with his money once he starts making it is make it make more money for you, invest it. But what exactly do you invest in? There is residual revenue.
You're gonna hear people tell you, invest in commercial real estate and flip houses.
Which is easier said than done. It's not saying that that's not an avenue you can explore. You can, but there are others.
You can have a passive income by investing in vending machines, laundromats.
So you set them up, all you've really got to do is come by every month to collect what they've earned you.
Barbershops.
No matter how many you open up, men are always going to need haircuts.
You can invest in that. You can invest in yourself.
This is why it's important to not blow through all your money while you're making it. Just put some aside for a rainy day. Take what you've saved after your career is over, like Marcellus's career is over, and maybe you pick up a trade.
Invest in yourself.
Maybe you put yourself through school to learn how to fix air conditioners. Or to become an electrician, a plumber. There's actually a lot of money to be made in those fields. Those are bankable skills that carry over to a lot of areas that can keep you making money. Keep the money coming in. These answers are not immediately apparent to one so young as a Marcellus Wilder, with no one there to guide him.
What do you mean no one's there to guide him? What about his older brother? What about Deontay?
I'm very strong and pro about my people. You know, we some of the strongest peoples in the world. But, you know, people look at us like we're nothing, and I'm sick of it, and I'm tired of it because they could never walk a mile in our shoes of what we go through every day. And people always tell me, well, slavery was so many years ago. No, motherfucker, slavery is still today. It's just modified, you know. So don't tell me with your white privilege or what it's like or don't tell me nothing about it when you don't know nothing about it. You understand? That's what gets me upset when they think they understand when they don't. When you done came and fucked with my people in their country, you done stole my people and you done stole their resources. And still to this day,
And the Oscar goes to...
That's real nice. That's real generous of you, Deontay Wilder, to be so worried about the slaves.
My people.
400 years ago, while your little brother is slaving at a Dollar Tree, and he could really use your help. Big part of the reason that Deontay Wilder's words come off as hollow to me and performative.
and still to this day,
To this day, you're still screwing over your little brother. To this day.
I think you are.
Remember that story a couple of years ago that Deontay had screwed around with one of Marcellus Wilder's girlfriends? Big bro stealing little bro's girlfriends. Didn't seem right to me. Seemed like something a narcissist would do. And when you think about how much money Wilder's sitting on, that you could easily pay for your little brother to get through some kind of schooling, maybe to become a plumber or an electrician.
He's clearly willing to work if he was just employed at Dollar Tree.
You, as his older brother, could have set him up with something better so that when you start carrying on about your people...
Shit is performative. It's not real because you're not even your brother's keeper. Your own little brother.
Wilder would have made a substantial amount of money from his previous fights, even if they were a string of losses.
You still got paid. Losing to Joseph Parker, losing to Zile Zhang, you would have got a lot of money boxing out there in Saudi.
You're about to get a lot more boxing in the United Kingdom, enough that I think it wouldn't cost you an arm and a leg to take care of your little brother. You pretend.
My people!
Like you're down for the cause and down for the people. All the stuff that sounds good.
My queen!
You're just hiding behind that shit whenever people present you the tough questions. I don't really think you care all that much about 400 years ago in slavery when your own little brother here today is off slaving in somebody's Dollar Tree. And what are you doing about it?
This is Walmart!
Marcellus working in a goddamn Dollar Tree is indicative that the relationship between him and Wilder is clearly strained. It must be, because Wilder can easily pull you out of that rut and set you up with something better.
Not proposing that Wilder house and helicopter over Marsellus Wilder. Of course Marcellus has to be able to stand on his own 2 feet. He's a man. Doesn't have to keep him like a fucking goldfish, but he is his brother's keeper, isn't he? If he's so worried about all these other fucking people through the annals of history, why wouldn't he be worried about his own little brother, his own flesh and blood?
Why wouldn't he be worried? Because all that bullshit he's talking about is little more than performative activism. That's all it is. It's for the cameras, it's for the clicks, the sound bites, it's for social media.
His penchant for theatricality, I really hope he parlays that into some sort of a movie career, because he's got a penchant for it.
Elsewhere in the heavyweight division, Russia's Arslanbek Makhmudov leaves the bear behind for Tyson Fury. Arslanbek Makhmudov has spent years carrying a reputation that stretches beyond the ring. Viral clips, exaggerated stories, and the enduring image of a heavyweight willing to wrestle bears have followed him from fight to fight. Now that his showdown with Tyson Fury has been confirmed and preparations are already underway, Makhmudov is determined to reset the narrative and keep the build-up focused on boxing and not spectacle. I promised my mother.
My mother.
Speaking exclusively to WBN during a recent media opportunity held alongside newly crowned WBC super middleweight champion Christian Mabili, Makhmudov made it clear he will not be returning to the stunt that became a talking point across the sport. No, I promised my mother to not do wrestling with bears because you have to understand this is very dangerous, Makhmudov said when asked whether the infamous moment would feature again as he prepares for Fury. The answer was delivered without joking, and it matched the tone of a fighter treating this opportunity like the biggest assignment of his career. With Fury only just confirmed as his opponent, Makhmudov is already thinking about preparation, not promotion. The comment reflects a more measured approach as Makhmudov prepares for the most high-profile assignment of his career. This fight, I'm starting my camp in Russian mountains, and then we go back to Montreal, Canada, to prepare for war, he added.
See, even a guy as limited as a Makhmudov, when given the opportunity, could turn into a very dangerous opponent, a very dangerous situation. Not dissimilar from what you saw in the feature film Rocky. In the movie, Apollo needed a short notice opponent, so He got a club fighter from Philly. Having competed at world level, he didn't figure that that club fighter would give him the fight of his life. That is the power of belief. For Apollo, that was the consequence of looking past the man that's in front of you. Fury finds himself in a similar situation. Makhmudov is not a short-notice opponent.
But he is perceived as being a limited fighter. Fury would do wise not to look past him. While the Bear story has often overshadowed the reality of his work in recent bouts, Makhmudov is now stepping onto boxing's biggest stage with a clear message. He intends to be judged on what happens against Fury, not on what went viral years earlier. Asked what he made of Fury's last 2 fights with Alexander Usyk. I think he did good. Usyk is very good too. 2 very close fights, but for me, it doesn't matter much because I'm not Usyk. I'm Arslanbek, and I plan to do a different thing, and inshallah, get the win differently, he said. It is a simple point, but an important one, that Makhmudov prepares for a fight that could redefine his standing at heavyweight. Makhmudov is not selling a blueprint. He is selling belief in his own identity and his own approach, even against a fighter who has seen almost everything and everyone. At heavyweight, speculation has already surfaced about Fury's age and movement as he approaches 38, but Makhmudov is refusing to build his confidence on assumptions. His focus, he says, is to prepare for the best version of Fury and adjust once the fight starts.
Tell you what, for a limited fighter, he sure has his head on straight.
I don't know, but I'm preparing for the best Tyson Fury. We will see how he starts the fight, but I'll be ready to adapt like my last fight, Makhmudov said. That adaptability was on display in October when Makhmudov dominated Dave Allen in Sheffield, using his jab, composure, and steady pressure to bank rounds and control the pace. The win helped restore momentum and reintroduce him to UK audiences at a time when he needed a statement performance ahead of a much bigger opportunity.
That Dave Allen fight is why I think Tyson Fury landed on him. And, you know, it's not because of how good Arslanbek looked in that fight, it's because of how good he didn't look.
That wasn't an easy fight for Makhmudov. He had to work for it. For Makhmudov, the April 11th bout is not about image or mythology, but about proving he belongs at the very top of the heavyweight conversation. That is the point of this moment. There will be no bears this time, just mountains, roadwork, sparring, and a singular focus on Tyson Fury, and on proving that behind the stories is a heavyweight preparing seriously for war.
Strategy's gonna be to get aggressive with Tyson Fury. That's the best way to go because you can't win this fight by way of finesse. You can't outbox Tyson Fury. That's not Arslanbek's forte. The best bet is to be gutting, gritty, and aggressive. Charge him.
Especially since he's been out of the ring for so long, getting rough with him, getting physical, when he's got ring rust to shake off?
When he's trying to still find his bearings and get his juices flowing again.
That'd be the best way to go for Arslanbek Makhmudov, and that is where this is actually a solid choice and makes for a solid contest, a solid opponent for a comeback fight that, even if Tyson Fury has competed at a much higher level than Makhmudov for a long duration of time, he's still coming off a lot of inactivity.
They're doing it on Netflix, and I love that.
We don't have to pay extra to see it. Netflix being such a big platform, that makes this fight even bigger.
I wonder who's gonna be on the undercard.
I'm not even a Tyson Fury fan, but I am excited for this fight. I have to admit it.